I am back. Rodrance for Black and White Network. If you're new to the channel or to Spotify or however you're listening, Rumble, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share this bad boy out. We've been covering at great length, of course, the outrage. And there was a lot of outrage. My goodness, the leftists, their heads inflated and blew up. Big Trouble in Little China style, as we saw in the John Carpenter classic with, of course, the great Kurt Russell playing the legendary Jack Burton. That's right. My God, what a great character. Is that Kurt Russell's best movie, along with Tombstone, probably? There's a lot of them to choose from there. I mean, I bet you'd have to be hard-pressed. The Thing, wow. So you could go on and on. When it comes to Kurt Russell. But that way you've got the image in your head of what I'm talking about. And hell, maybe I can just put that in this video. So I've kind of been sitting back. I've kind of been wondering what it is that maybe Joe Rogan had to say about this. You guys know that I listen to Joe quite a bit. I don't catch every pod. I like, depending on who's on. Like when he talks aliens, I'm in. When he talks fitness, generally, I'm in. When he talked COVID, I was really in. Yeah, because that doctor he had on recommended greatly upping your vitamin D. And I started doing that immediately. As soon as I heard the podcast, I ordered a shit ton of vitamin D, and boom, I boosted it, you know? Because they thought there was a correlation between how hard the Wuhan virus might hit you. YouTube, this is all just, we're just talking here, okay? I'm not telling everybody to run out and buy a bunch of vitamin D. That's up to you, I guess. But the point is, a lot of things I like to hear from Rogan. Not only that, but I'm a UFC guy, so, of course, he's a longtime commentator. So, I was wondering, what's his take? You know, what is his take on Jason Aldean? Because generally speaking, most of Rogan's takes are pretty level-headed, and this one was no different. I mean, he just flat called out the left when it comes to this Jason Aldean thing, and I definitely will play the clip, because I've got the clip right here as well of what was said, but New York Post put this together in a nice little shell article. So let's take a look at it. Joe Rogan mocks the outrage over Jason Aldean's small town hit. Hundreds of rap songs out there are infinitely worse. He's not wrong. You guys know, we talked about this on the live stream. I'm a massive rap fan. I grew up rap music. Public Enemy, Third Base, Rakim, Eric B. My God, Beastie Boys. Yeah, anything West Coast with, you know, Cube, NWA, you know, Cypress Hill, House of Pain. I've seen probably 30 rap shows in my life in person, okay? Seen a hell of a lot of rock shows, too. But I was a metal and a rap guy with very little country. I listen to more country now. Granted, it's 70s and 80s country for the most part. But I definitely listen to country more now than I used to back in the day. So, he's right. It's the one piece in the whole scenario we never talk about. It never gets brought up. It's never a fair play, especially when it comes to, by the way, we're outraged because a white dude is rapping some lyrics to a rap song and gets canceled because he dropped an N-bomb. And I've always said, if you go to Ice Cube or you go to a rapper, and by the way, the Tucker interview is out, and said, hey, we know you don't like that word, so what we're going to do is we're going to have you give all your money back to the people, the white folks that purchased your album because you don't like them using that word. We're going to have you give all that money back to those people, right? Those people. Because you don't like them using that word. And I venture to say that 100% of all rappers walking the planet would be like, nah, I'm good. No, I mean, I just don't think that outrage is real in a lot of instances. I don't. I think it's fake outrage, and it's bullshit. I mean, somebody rapping lyrics to a song should never get canceled. I mean, guys, all of this shit's about having some context, right? And applying simple common sense. Liberal activists have no common sense. So there's that. Podcast host Joe Rogan scoffed at the controversy surrounding country music star Jason Aldean's Try That in a Small Town song. By the way, I think it's around 19 million views on that music video, when he highlighted there are plenty of songs with, quote, wild lyrics and content. Absolutely. Aldean released a music video for his song, and that goes for metal, too. I mean, there's some crazy-ass lyrics in heavy metal. No doubt about it. You know, and that's a predominantly white industry, although there was some really good black metal bands out there. Living Color back in the day, that's CM Punk's theme song. We all know that song. Try That in a Small Town that included authentic news footage of rioters, looters, and violence in 2020 after the death of George Floyd. In the song, the country singer warned such activity would not be tolerated in rural America. That's true. I've said that, you know, but rural America is going to be more law and order. In other words, I think really what he was saying was, look, country folks have each other's back. We help each other. We're there for each other. And rural America is predominantly law and order. They don't put up with chaos. You know, our law enforcement doesn't put up with chaos. We're not having it. In other words, no matter how bad or how pissed or how illegal the George Floyd incident might have ended up being, just because that illegal activity happened doesn't mean you can turn around and start committing other illegal activities. That's not how that works, right? So, liberal activists accused the video of promoting racism because of the area where it was filmed, which led CMT pulling the plug on the music video from circulation. They are facing a Bud Light kind of backlash, a Bud Light boycott situation a la Dylan Mulvaney right now. CMT, to hell with them. We're done. We're out on CMT. Some of the complaints suggest the song was, quote, pro-lynching. I mean, it's baffling. It's baffling. Because the video was filmed in front of the Maury County Courthouse in Columbia, Tennessee, where a lynching in 1927 occurred. Well, the problem is that, and shame on New York Post for not bringing this up, but we have since found out, I did a video on that courthouse. That courthouse is used in various entertainment productions, including Hannah Montana's movie. So there's that, right? I mean, some Mario Lopez Christmas movie that courthouse showed up in. But that's why that's never talked about, I don't know. Rogan marveled at the selective outrage over this country song. Quote, I'm not saying that's the greatest song the world has ever known, but the level of outrage coming from people that are upset about that song is so strange when there are hundreds of rap songs out there that are infinitely worse. Rogan said, adding that rap songs are still, quote, enjoyable. I mean, I agree.
People are upset at the country music channel, because the Jason Aldean song, Try That in a Small Town.
Yeah.
The level of outrage, like, now, I'm not saying that that's the greatest song the world's ever known, but the level of outrage coming from people that are upset about that song is so strange when there are hundreds of rap songs out there that are
thousands,
infinitely worse and also enjoyable.
Misogynistic, glorifying violence, the whole thing. Yeah.
And no complaints at all.
Yeah.
And we're not even talking about old stuff. There's new stuff too. There's hip hop, there's wild rock songs, there's a lot of wild shit. and to be focusing on that one. And it's the racial aspect of it. It was crazy because, like, the real Antifa problems that were happening during the BLM, I think it was a lot of white people doing that, wasn't it? It was a lot of, like, lost liberal whites who were very angry, who decided to take up this movement and smash things. So, like, the racial aspect of it, there's nothing racial about the lyrics.
Yeah, I mean, and there's not anything racial about the lyrics. Very interesting that he brought up the Antifa thing, because Antifa, you know, their images, Antifa was all over those BLM riots, right? And we know famously, like Breonna Taylor, they literally had a U-Haul. They flipped up the door and started getting their shields out and all their stuff that they were going to use to inflict violence onto Louisville, I think it was. And so, yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely nuts that so much involving race has come out involving this song. And look, a lot of the people that perpetrated that violence were white liberals. We've talked about that. I mean, oh my goodness, boy, the Democrats, the white Democrats, we always talk about white Democrats being racist, but I mean, let's be real. They even try to tell black folks how much the appropriate amount of outrage that they're supposed to have. Wait a minute, that didn't bother you? You should be furious about that. Yeah, but I'm not, because of common sense. But no, that's racist, and you should be furious. Get out in the streets and start burning something down, right? And it's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. So there's Joe Rogan's take. It's kind of the same take that anybody that listens to the song that applies any real thought process, it's a dog whistle. Take dog whistle, turn that sumbitch sideways, and do the rock with that bad boy, okay? I mean, it's ridiculous. That phrase in itself drives me up a tree. I'm floored. I'm floored that we are in a day and time where actual common sense, critical thinking is poo-pooed and frowned upon. Oh, you think objectively? Nah, we can't have that shit around here. Let's not do that. Let's not apply common sense there. And even the media yesterday, I did that video. The media is trying to take a victory lap. Oh, the BLM imagery has been removed from Jason Aldean's song. The Washington Post, after backlash. No, Fox 5 Atlanta told them to remove the clip because they didn't have permission to use it. And they did so because the word lawsuit was following that down the trail. You know, I saw somebody say, well, he should have told him to get effed. No, you can't do that. I mean, if somebody comes to us, if Joe Rogan comes to us, Black and White Network, Joe Rogan, don't do that. I hope you don't. We're big fans. But if he comes to us and say, hey, dude, you got to pull our shit out of your video because, well, it's not yours. He's not wrong. You know, he's not wrong. It's got to come down. It just is what it is. Most of the guys, again, apply its common sense, and they understand if we put a video up and it gets 30,000 views, well, that's 30,000 extra eyes and people that are watching a piece of Joe Rogan's podcast. Go subscribe. There we go. See how that works? Tell me what you think, Black and White Network supporters. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.